Good afternoon, everyone. I am Ravi Gupta. I am editor-in-chief of eGov magazine. We are part of the Elets Technomedia group, and Elets is a 17-year-old media and research organization, and we have been bringing out magazines like e-governance, e-health, banking and finance, post, and a magazine on digital learning. And we have been for last 17 years bringing up the ideas on innovations and how can innovations and especially the ICT based innovations can help the government sector, help citizens, help education institutions, help the health sector, help the banking sector, and several other sectors. To talk about especially about the how are the ICT initiative changing the face of cities, changing the management of cities. We have an expert today with us. He is Mr. Ajay Gupta. He is the global head of smart cities and IoT for Tech Mahindra. So welcome Ajay. Thanks for joining us here. Thank you so much. Ajay, before we start our discussion, which is will be a bit of a technical discussion. I will request you to talk about your career, your education, and how you ended up being a leader in the smart city space. Ajay.
Good afternoon, Dr. Ravi, and thanks for having me here. It is always a pleasure to be part of Elets event. Coming to my background, so I have been doing smart cities. I have been leading global view on smart cities for last 5 years in Tech Mahindra. Prior to that, I have done various things in various roles. I was leading the telecom business. I did partner alliances role in Tech Mahindra. It's been almost 12 years in Tech Mahindra. Prior to that, I was part of Paro System, which is now entity data. There I did mostly the BFSI, the banking and financial services. I was part of a retail banking project. I worked for Paro Systems for almost like 8 years. Before that, I started my career with Tata Steel, the IT services of Tata Steel. I come from, I'm born and brought up in Jamshedpur. I have done my degree from RIT Jamshedpur, now it is called NIT. So, Tata Steel was the natural choice. When I passed out, these people visited our campus and I got selected. So that used to be the dream company at that time. So that's about, very short and crisp background. How I ended up in smart city, prior to smart city unit, the unit I was leading was called Digital Enterprise Services, and that used to have a number of emerging technologies, digital technologies like IoT, mobility, digital transformations, platforms, and various things. But then in 2014, when PM Modi came up with smart city mission programs of 100 cities, then we thought that next the time to put more focus on the smart city business, and there was a full-fledged unit set up, and I was asked to lead that unit. So that's how smart city started. Our journey has been very, very good. We started with a very small engagement. We started with our partners within Mahindra groups like Mahindra World Cities, Mahindra Life Spaces, and Maze. They are experts in infra domain. The first ever smart city in India, which is Mahindra World City Jaipur, was set up around 2013, 2014, and that was done by my team. So, in fact, I also had the privilege of, installing some of the sensors or camera myself, parking sensors. So that was a very small engagement. Then when we, went on to, implementing a number of projects. And if you look at our experience, we have a variety of implementations to our credit. right from a very large police emergency projects like UP 100. We have also done ambulance health emergency like Dial 108. We have built one of the largest command centers in the state of Rajasthan, which is called Abhay. The world's one of the largest smart waste management project is also to our credit, which is the Jabalpur Waste Management Project, which is which covers 276,000 households, and probably the only project, one of the very few projects which starts from the lowest level of smart waste life cycle management, which is the door-to-door collections. So I think some of the very unique implementations we have done. As we progress in the discussion, we'll also talk about some of the current projects. But yeah, I mean, just to give you a very quick overview.
So, as you talked about the vision of our Prime Minister to build 100 smart cities, and Tech Mahindra has implemented several smart city projects in the country. So, if you can talk about some of those efforts which you have done under the smart city mission.
Yeah. So we have implemented more than a dozen smart cities already, and as I said that UP 100 and 108 are some of the unique implementations. At the moment we have around 4 projects which are going on, 5 projects rather, which are going on, namely Kanpur Smart Cities. So Kanpur is also I'll say one of the largest smart cities in India, from the coverage and scope perspective. Kanpur is already, it has moved into the operation and maintenance phase. So ICCC is already live. PCMC is again a very, very large project, more than 500 crores. And it has got very complex, IT and OT solutions, which are coming together, right? Which is very unique. You will not find many implementations wherein you have the operation technologies and also IT technologies coming together, and helping citizens with the solutions. So we have thousands of around 10,000 smart meters getting deployed as a part of PCMC. So it's a very complex implementations. Third project that we have done is the Gandhinagar Smart City, which is also in operations around, it's been 6 months. JDA, Jaipur Development Authority, Phase 4, which was about developing a smart corridor across the Dravyavati River, like we have Sabarmati Riverfront. So that one is also on the verge of getting completed. The last but not least is the Nasik Smart City, which we are doing with one of the partners. So Nasik is in the initial phase, but yes, most of the other projects are almost getting into the completion phase.
Fantastic. So you have a diverse range of cities in diverse set of states with a diverse set of challenges each of the cities has. Now, in this COVID-19 situation, when the whole world is facing a calamity, there is a huge pressure on the city managers, city heads to manage this disaster, the health disaster in their cities. So how have the smart city project implementation, which your organization has done, is helping the city managers, the municipal commissioners to manage this pandemic situation?
Yeah, very good question, Dr. V. So actually, we are very glad that we have been associated and we can also contribute in managing this crisis. We are working hand in hand with administrations, with municipal commissioner who happens to be also smart city CEOs. We have built ICCC as a part of this project, whether it is PCMC or Kanpur. These 2 cities, I must mention that they have taken lead in converting their ICCC into a full-fledged 24/7 war room. Now, what these war rooms are doing, so it was a fantastic place for, sort of converging all the departments, whether it is municipal department or healthcare or electricity or all the essential services. So they have got a place to sit. They have the video walls. They have the call center applications. So if I have to name some of the solutions which are helping, the call center applications, they are helping in assistance required for suspected COVID case, right? It is helping to deliver food, medicines. The doctors are using, the video call to provide consultancy. Uh, there are, citizens who are calling for address or, where are the shops located for essential services. Some of them need rice or dal or milk or whatever. So all those shops are actually listed in, the portal or citizen mobile app that we have created. So it is helping the citizens a lot. Secondly, we also have live video feeds from the thousands of cameras that we have deployed across the city. Now, these cameras are connected with the ICCC. So if we have, any, say, lockdown violations, people come out of their home, these cameras are intelligent camera and they can give alert if there are, violations or people are actually leaving the perimeter or, going here and there, or there are, crowds which is coming together. So all these lockdown violations are getting captured in the camera, in the CCTV surveillance system, and the appropriate alerts are sent to command center. And there are police, the traffic enforcement agencies also operating out of the ICCC, both in Kanpur and in Gandhinagar, and they are able to penalize this offender.
हाँ तो ना जल्दी क्या करते हो उनका पता है ना 200 लोग सुन रहे हैं उनको.
I think there is some noise here. Deepak?
Yeah, I think if you can mute others, it will be great.
Yes. Prabhakar, can you mute everyone, please? Yeah.
Sorry. So apart from that, we also have, developed a set of dashboards and AI-based, AI-enabled reports to help the administrations. Okay. Now they can carry out various types of analysis on corona cases, like which all ward or zone within the cities are the hotspots. With the help of GIS map, it can be plotted on the video walls, and that gives us the trends and what all measures are needed to cope up with the pandemic. So there is a predictive analysis which these solutions are able to do, and accordingly, the next step can be planned. So it helps. It is helping the administration. It is helping the healthcare department to plan them and deal them better. As a next step, we are also, in the process of developing the track and trace solutions for corona patients or suspect to find out which all places they have visited or citizens he came in contact with. So, I know there are a few apps already in the market, but certainly we will have some, extra features, some unique features which will help the administrations. Going forward, we are also trying to include the geofencing in our solutions, which will help to ensure that such corona patients are restricted to a specific boundary, because we have been hearing the cases of people leaving the hospitals or the quarantine facilities where they have been asked to confine themselves, but they are not actually listening to them. So these type of solution will certainly help. So you will see, Ravi, there are a number of solutions which we have been able to leverage, and the effectiveness of all the solution is significant. Yeah.
Ajay, the whole country is in lockdown. Movement is restricted, and how is your company able to work on these solutions customized for COVID-19 when your employees are not able to move freely and all those restrictions are there? So how are you operating in these difficult situations?
Yeah, good question. So, we have got the special approval from all the city CEO, the commissioners. We are extremely thankful to CEOs like, PCMC Commissioner Sri Shravan Hardikar and Kanpur CEO, Kanpur's Commissioner Sri Akshay Tripathi ji. And these administrators have been in the forefront, themselves, and they are leading all the implementations, right? Um, uh, for PCMC, we were asked to, set up the war room. PCMC is in bit initial stage, but then we were asked to set up the war room or convert the ICCC into war room in a record time, right? So we had only a couple of days. The guys worked day and night. There was special permission, special approval on the movement of goods was given from the commissioner, and commissioner sir himself, facilitated all the approvals. And for Kanpur, we set up the war room, 24/7 war room in less than 24 hours. So I think there was a lot of, help and assistance and interest from the administration themselves, particularly the city CEO or the municipal commissioners. So we are really thankful for them who gave us the opportunity.
Fantastic. And how are you ensuring the safety of your staff who are working in the front line?
This is very important because, in all these ICCC or command and control center, or which have been converted to war room, we have a small team, but there are people who are actually, working. So we may be locked inside our houses, but these people, the on-site project manager, the operations manager, are continuously attending their, office and going to the command and control center. So we have made special arrangement for, our staff's accommodations who are working on the project close to the municipal corporations where the ICCC buildings are located, so that they don't have to commute for a longer distance. So that is one. And also we have, made arrangement for their food or essential items. We have also arranged for the caf facility so that they don't have to, go beyond a certain distance for their daily essentials items.
Fantastic. So, how are you seeing the role of IT and technology in these times of disaster? And are you seeing any emergence of new usage of IT in the COVID-19 situation or any future situation like this?
Sorry, Ravi, I just missed the last line. Emergence of.
Sorry, I was asking that how are you seeing the role of IT and overall technology in COVID-19 situation? And are there any emerging solutions coming up from an IT perspective to deal with the crisis?
Absolutely. So we have some of the smart city technology and solutions which are very effective in dealing with the crisis. Say, for example, video analytics, as I said, for enforcing the lockdown and curfew. If people violate this, then intelligent camera can send the alert. As I said, appropriate actions are taken by police. Some of our command center are being used by district medical staff to provide the services like telemedicines, online medical assistance, as I said, through video or WhatsApp call. WhatsApp is something that everyone has that. So with the help of WhatsApp, which can be projected in the giant screen in the video walls, these doctors are helping. There are thermal cameras, so this is again future. We don't have that, but since you talked about what are the technology, I'm also including the initiative that we can take up in futures. So there are thermal cameras which can help in fever screening, which can be used by offices, schools, hotels, airport, railway stations to detect if person has a fever and thus send alert to agencies for appropriate actions. Now, this work in conjunction with the facial recognition system. So it is not only the temperature, if it is beyond a certain limit, but also they'll be able to know that this particular person has the temperature, which is above the limit. So they'll have the list of name of the person also, identification of person also who is having a fever, right? Apart from that, various types of AI and analytics tools are also helping to find pattern and thus predicts which all are the red, amber, or green zone or what. Is there a possibility of a particular locality to go in red zone because of the spikes in corona cases? Uh, can we do a predictive modeling? Is it possible that to come up with some model which will help us deal with the situation better? So all these things are possible. So you have the to sum up, the intelligent cameras, you have the geofencing features, you have the AI and predictive modeling, the analytics report, and GIS based reports. All of these are coming together to help the city administrations. And so I'll say net the smart city solutions are playing a very important role, and it will continue. It will only increase.
Great. And do you think that the model which you have implemented in Pimpri-Chinchwad and Kanpur can be replicated in other cities?
Absolutely. So these solutions are such that it can be lifted and shifted and implemented in other cities. Alternatively, what we can do, we can also make city like, say, PCMC or Kanpur as the hub. Now Kanpur ICCC, if you happen to be there, it's a state of art command and control center that we have implemented. Now we can certainly implement a hub and spoke model wherein you will have the rest of the cities within UP who onboarded on the Kanpur. So yes, and they can benefit with this solution. They don't have to replicate everything. There might be a local requirement of having a smaller command and control center, but yes, to answer your questions, it can certainly be replicated without any issues. And alternately, we can also have the PCMC as a hub for Maharashtra, or Kanpur as a hub or nodal for UP.
And how do you think that the COVID-19 situation will impact the IT spending and the smart city progress of the government? Like government had announced smart cities. So do you think that because of the COVID-19 experience, where some of the cities are using it for disaster management situations, the smart city program will expand or the funding will increase in this sector?
No, I'm very optimistic. That this will only go up. Spending will only go up. You see, more and more people, more and more companies are talking about how they can operate or ask employee to stay at home and work from home. So more and more digital technologies will come into play. As far as the spending of smart city is concerned, I don't think it will be curtailed. The Ministry of Finance has recently released a grant of nearly 14,000 crores under the 4th Finance Commission to the urban local bodies across the country to utilize these funds for various activities related to COVID-19 pandemic. So there's always a additional funding apart from what we were having for allocated for smart cities. As I said, most of the ICCC which are operational have been converted into a 24/7 war room, and it is as I said, it is the only place for various departments to come together, whether it is civil supply, municipality, traffic, police, so it's a place from where you can keep an eye on cities, you can manage, you can control, you can monitor, right? Also, if you notice, the recently Mahua Secretary Sri Durga Shankar Mishra said that ICCC technology experience should be extended to all the bigger cities. So he's actually talking about bringing more and more cities into the complete ambit. And so going forward, I see more and more ICCC getting created, and more and more smart solution will be deployed. So what I'm trying to say that people see a lot of values that ICCC and other smart city solutions are bringing to the table and helping the administrations. So smart cities and ICCC, they have proved its effectiveness, I would say, already. And they are ready to share the experience to the other cities for sure. In fact, I'll not only restrict this to the city, the remainder of the cities in India, but actually we can help the other cities beyond India also to learn from us.
So you are saying that other cities outside of India can also learn from the Indian experience, right?
I tell you, I'll just add, I hope we have time.
Yes.
So, yeah, so I have been, I travel a lot, and I have visited, countries in ASEAN region, in Middle East, and also Africa. So the smart city initiatives that these countries have launched or they are planning to launch, including Bangladesh also, you can actually map one-to-one, from the requirement perspective, from the approach perspective, and from also the strategy perspective, right? Even the funding also. So I would say, because this is because of, the excellent story that you have built in India. Vietnam, they are planning to come up with some dozen cities, smart cities, so they also have a small smart city mission program. Bangladesh has got 2021 Digital Bangladesh, which is pretty much like, our Digital India program. Similarly, cities in Africa, countries in Africa, like, Cape Town or city of Ekurhuleni, city of Shawnee, all these guys, all these cities are coming up with, similar requirement, and the approach is same. So you have a set of solutions, smart city solutions, and it will converge to the integrated command and control center. This is what we are doing in India. Though the approach is very, very different if you talk about in Europe or US, but then, these cities, these countries had, smart cities for a long time. So this will probably not apply or fly in those geography. But yes, whether it is in Middle East, Africa, ASEAN, and other parts of the world, we can certainly educate these people and they can learn from our experience.
So Ajay, we have some questions on your screen. If you can have a look and look at which are the most relevant ones.
Sure.
Which you want to address.
Is it visible to me also, Ravi?
Yeah. I can see you see it. So I want you to. Are you able to see it, Ajay? There is a Q&A button in the bottom of your screen.
Okay, so I have a question from a gentleman called Karthik from Ajmer, Rajasthan. He's asking, can you give us quick overview? I'll just read the question and then answer it. Can you give us?
So I think you have answered it already.
Yeah.
That, which all cities. So let's not repeat those.
Okay.
Because the time is limited, so we can look at those ones which are not yet addressed. So I think there is a question by Anirudh. He's asking that the public spending on smart cities and infrastructure could be cut significantly in the next 2 years due to COVID-19 crisis. And do you think this will affect future smart city projects? Your thoughts, Anirudh from Frost and Sullivan.
Yeah, hi Anirudh. So, no, I think I answered. We discussed Dr. Ravi already, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
I'm very optimistic and forward-looking as far as the spendings are concerned. So as I said that the ICCC have been converted into 24/7 war room. It is helping administrations. It is helping citizens. It is helping the healthcare department. So. And moreover, I say that the Ministry of Finance has given additional grant, and I see, a significant portion of 14,000 crore which has been sanctioned will be utilized for, under these ICCC building programs. So there might be, a period wherein we have spending on the actual trunk infrastructure, curtailed or maybe delayed a bit. But if you ask me, the smart solutions integrated command and control center, which is lifeline of the city. So I am very optimistic, Anirudh.
Right. There is a question by Nisha Shetty. She's asking that how smart cities could help in standardization of protocols in the event of outbreak of disasters. Nisha Shetty.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, protocols relate to the how effective is your communication, right? Now you will see that we have deployed hundreds of variable message digital board or VMD. We have the public address system. We have the emergency call box. We have the citizen portal under the Smart City Mission program, mobile application under the mobile program. So all of these are actually helping us to, communicate with the citizens, okay, and also the department. So you have a various department coming together to help fight this pandemic. So whether it is the healthcare department, the enforcement department, because police and traffic has to ensure that that vehicles stay where they are, and there are no traffic jam or anything. It is only the essential services which are allowed. So all these enforcement or the doctors, the healthcare and everything, they need to work in tandem, and that communication or the protocols, whatever is decided and agreed, it has to be communicated to each one of them. And we have, these 4 or 5 solutions, which I just mentioned, helping them to do that.
Right. So there is a question by Saurav Puri, that's in the bottom actually. So I'm picking up some of the aspects which are not yet addressed. So there is a question that in smart city, very important aspect is smart education, and second is smart stadium. How Tech Mahindra is covering that? It's in the bottom question.
Yeah. Yes. So, well, the smart city, let me just give you an idea as to how we are structured. So though the practice or the business unit may be called smart city unit, a smart city business unit, but as you said, we are pretty much covering everything. So what is applicable to a stadium or convention center or airport? So there could be smart stadium, smart airport, smart educations. We have a full-fledged unit who are working. So we have our own smart education platform, and we are also working on a number of smart stadium and smart airports also. So yes, so these and these solutions with very little or no tweaking can be extended to all these places, whether it is education or stadium or airports. Yeah.
Okay. There is a question when you go up. It is by Pragnesh Trivedi, and he's asking that can you share your views on why telemedicine is not being used the way it should have been used in the pandemic? Those doctors who are at home can help thousands others at home. This will reduce crowd at government hospitals and in turn will help to fight COVID-19.
No, actually, if you listen to my one of the questions that Dr. Ravi asked, I actually answered this. The telemedicine is being used because it is not appropriate for a person to come to hospital unless and until there is a confirmation that he's actually he has COVID or he has the virus. So nowadays, like in PCMC or Kanpur, people are actually calling a helpline number or toll-free number, 1800 number, and there are doctors, the full team of doctor and nurses and paramedical staff. They are sitting there, and they are actually helping the patients with telemedicine. So it is actually being used in its full capacity.
There is a question by Himanshu Sharma in the bottom, second last question. He's asking that what are the opportunities for the shared mobility in smart cities?
Yeah,
Last, but one
yeah,
question.
yeah. So yes, I mean, I'll say this is also one of the solutions, but I would say we'll have to do a lot, before you come to the shared part. First of all, because you can have a multimodal transport, you can have the passenger information system, you can have smart buses and everything, but then you can apply a smart layer only when you have a basic infrastructure, trunk infrastructure, right? So smart layer, something that a company like Tech Mahindra would do to add the smartness on top of whatever is already existing. So you have to have the step number one completed, then only can do the step number two. So if you look at the some of the states like maybe Gujarat or southern states, they are very advanced, and you have the shared mobility already put to use, and then soon you will be seeing that in the other parts of the India for sure.
There's a question when you go up, it is from Parth Joshi. He's asking that should government focus and direct their funding on smart villages also in the second phase?
Sorry, I couldn't see. Can you just repeat the question, Ravi?
Should government focus and direct their funding on smart villages also?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So if I have my statistics correct, probably 60% of India still live in village, right? So we have to have we'll have to develop smart villages, and there is a full-fledged programs like which is called Amrit. So there is under Amrit there are 500 villages to smart villages to be developed, and Parth, you will be surprised. Will be happy to note that the first ever smart city village in India, Tekem was associated. So Mori in Andhra Pradesh is called the first digital village or smart village in India, which has got 100% self-reliant as far as the energy is concerned. So they have got windmills, they have battery bank, they have solar to generate the electricity. So that is how they draw their energy, their electricity, right? And we were involved. Tech Mahindra was involved in that.
So there is a question which is not here, but I want to ask you, Ajay. What do you see the future of IT industry post COVID? Like how does COVID-19 impact the IT sector in the country? Your views on this? Will the IT spending increase or decrease, or if it will increase, it will increase in what areas?
Yeah, so I think so, Dr. Ravi, I think this will. We still have to see that. We have to see that how you have both the types of messages that are coming. We have seen some of the companies who say that okay, we'll have our IT spending cut, but you have the other lot who are actually saying that they'll have to increase the IT spending to equip them to deal them better with the scenarios like COVID. Because I'll give you one example, like TCS boss, he said that there'll be going forward there'll be only 25% people operating out of office and 75% can operate from home. So now I'll see a lot of cost saving, because you are saving on your infrastructure. You have a per seating cost of the associate that operate from office. Moreover, you have the cost of fuel, or when you are asking the associate to operate from home, they're actually saving on maybe 3 to 4 hours of commuting every day. So that way you are actually improving or increasing the productivity. So if you are able to save your cost, I think you will be able to spend more. So as I said, I am very, very optimistic, and to me, what it looks like, it will only help. The company will try to see how they can, minimize the impact of a pandemic like COVID, and for that, they'll have to become digital. They'll have to rely on, the digital resources, the smart solutions, the IT solutions, and for that, there'll certainly be, at least there should not be any, curtailment in the spending. Yeah.
Sure. And tell us how does Tech Mahindra become a unique organization who has the specialization to give smart city solutions? What's so different there?
Sure. So you will see that, TechM is the only IT organization which is doing smart cities. Okay. Most of our competitors are, the infra companies, right? They may, build buildings, dams, or flyovers or whatnot. But smart solutions are very complex implementations, and you need to have a number of important technical blocks to come together and work in tandem. Let me give you an example. So if you're deploying, some smart solution, you will have sensor to start with, then you have a network and gateways, then you have a platform layers, which will have a number of, important blocks like data orchestrations, API integrations, analytics, device management platform, connectivity management platform, EMS, NMS, standing operating procedures, BI and dashboards. So all these things are very, very complex technical blocks. And Tech Mahindra has a very strong capability in all these technologies pillars. Our competitors may not have these expertise. So that gives us a very significant advantage over them. Additionally, as I said earlier, we partner with our group companies like, say, Mahindra Ltd, who are the domain expert in developing trunk infra. Mahindra Sustain are expert in solar and building, smart waste management, bins with compaction features. Mahindra Defense are the expert in surveillance and homeland security. So all these domain expertise actually complement Tech Mahindra, complement what we have and what we bring to the table from the IT side or the smart side of it. So it's a very good mix of the infra and IT coming together to, form a winning combinations. If you look at our, as I said, the Mahindra Ltd, our first of the case studies are with our group companies only. So that's the differentiator that we are very proud of. And I must say that, the customer acknowledge this, they understand this, they appreciate this.
Fantastic. So we have almost covered all the questions asked here by the audience. And thanks, Ajay, for joining us. And I want to thank all the audience for joining us here. I think we had good examples from the Pimpri Chinchwad and Kanpur and several other projects where the TechM has deployed smart city solutions. And I think this sets an example for many other cities who can learn from these solutions and deploy it, and not only in India, but also outside India. So I will request the audience, if you like the presentation by Ajay, please like and share this video so that the good work which Ajay and his team at I thank you, Ajay, and thank you all. Namaskar from Elets and Ego.
Thank you, Dr. Ravi and Elets team. Thanks for having me here.
All of
Thanks a lot.
you.
Bye-bye.